I would like to talk about original pure mind because I think this topic is important. Now, I will cover few aspects from the Tipitaka Sutta, from the Western psychology, and from my own personal experience. And feel free, if you got questions, you can lift your hand and ask. We make it more interactive. Okay, now, original pure mind. Now, in the sutta, we have one Pali word called Pabba Sarachita, luminous mind. So it says that the nature of the mind is pure, luminous, undefiled. When affliction, defilements, kilesa arise, this pure nature remains unchanged and unmoved. Just as clouds can obscure the sun but cannot change the sun's inherent luminous nature, the defilements occur with mind but do not alter its fundamental purity. Okay, this means that actually we can take it, the beginning of our mind is pure. Like most of us. Okay, so you have the pure mind. So later, when you have greed, hatred, delusion, your mind become dirty, become murky. Do you want to return to your original mind? Yes. Do you want to be a pure person, pure mind? Yes, right? Okay, so we learn from the sutta. Sutta means the Buddha words. Now, this is really from the Tipitaka Anguttara Nikaya. Acharya Sangata Vago. Pabasara midam bhikkhave chittam tancha ko agantukehi upakelesehi upaklitam tam asutta va putujano yada buddham napajanati tasma asuvato putujanasa chittam bhavana nati ti vandami patamam. Luminous monks in this mind, but is defiled by adventitious defilements that the instructed worldling does not understand as it really is. Therefore, I say that for the uninstructed worldling, there's no development of mind. So key point is the mind is bright, like similarly like this, okay, but it's defiled by the defiled incoming adventitious temporary defilement because the worldling do not have the knowledge, do not really know, understand, so they cannot meditate well. Now we come to the second sutta. Pabansaram midam bhikkhave chittam tancha ko agantukehi upasakilehi vipamutam tan sutawa arya sawako yadabutam pajanati tasma sutta wato arya sawakasa chitam bhavana atiti vandami tutiya. Luminous monks in this mind and is freed from adventitious defilements that the uninstructed noble disciple understand as it really is. Therefore, I say that for instructed noble disciple, there's development of mind. Okay. Now, how do you want to have a developed mind? Because you instructed, right? Instructed means you hear the teaching of the Dhamma. Now, for the noble disciples, of course, their development of mind. The key point is the mind is bright. Sometimes it's possible for the mind to be free from these temporary defilements because they understand the truth. Now, what kind of truth? For example, you understand everything is impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Okay, just make it a little bit high. All right. So once you understand everything is an impermanent, suffering, and non-self, there's a development of mind. Sure. Okay, better now. Thank you. Right. Now we look at the commentary. Now, the commentary is say is actually this because in Abhidhamma we call it Bhavanga Chitta. Bhavanga Chitta actually is pure by itself. Now, what is this Bhavanga Chitta? Bhavanga Chitta is the kind of like subconsciousness you have when you are in a deep sleep. So when you are in the deep sleep, your mind is very calm and peaceful, and you are at rest. Okay. Now you are very busy here, busy there. Your mind is not at rest. But when you rest, you really have a deep sleep. How you feel? Without dream, okay? Without dream, you feel calm, very peaceful, very resting. Go for the beta, alpha mode, okay? That is called as bhavanga chitta. In Abhidhamma, we know this kind of mind appears very naturally in us, okay? And but it can be disturbed by defilements. So when you're in a very deep sleep, sometimes you have dream, sometimes you have sweet dream. There's a great day. Sometimes you maybe have the nasty dream, so you got shock. So all these defilements make your mind very restless. Because why? Now he does not understand. According to commentary, we call it the agama scripture. Now agama is also in Mahayana had this term agama, or by the way of realization, adhikama. And he does not know about uh, the acquisition, interpretation, discrimination regarding the aggregates. So as a meditator, we need to know 5 aggregates, 6 sense bases, 18 bases, the dependent origination, foundation of mindfulness, and so on. Okay. So that's why he neither get a penetration of true knowledge, nor their realization, or nor their practice. So that's why he called as an uninstructed worldling. Now the word sutta in Pali means you hear. Now when you hear the Dhamma, you practice. When you practice the Dhamma, you realize it. Okay? So that's why you come here to what? To listen. After you listen, you practice. Practice, then you realize. Now, what are you supposed to practice? All these you can practice in the Vipassana, okay, aggregates, elements, sense space, condition, and so on. So this one we call it Suttawa means somebody who hear the Dhamma. Right. So according to commentary, life continue means the bhavanga chitta, which nature pure, but defiled by defilements. Now, okay, so far you already know, yes, we have the possibility that the mind is to be pure, but it's disturbed by defilements. So how do we go back to original pure mind? Right. Now, the idea is not to create, it's not asking you to create because the pure mind is already there. What we need to remove the defilements that cover it, allow the innate radiance to naturally manifest. Okay. Now, do we have pure mind? You ask yourself. Okay, yes. Okay, now I will ask you this question. You all have pure mind, right? Of let's say whole day, one from morning wake up until nighttime sleep. How many percentage of your pure mind arise? Good mind, pure mind, wholesome mind, bright mind. Is it 50%? No. Less. Okay. Okay. Who above 50? No. Okay, one. All right. Who above 70? No. Okay. Who say below 50? Most of you. Okay. Very friendly, honestly. Okay. How about 30%? Should have, right? Okay. Now, when you have bright mind, pure mind, how you feel? You feel calm. You feel peaceful. Your face is have good radiance. When you have nasty mind, you are in nasty mode. Everybody know it. Everybody will avoid you. Okay, that's a nasty mind. Now, so we have the pure mind already, right? But how to reach to it? So we need to remove the defilements. Now, what kind of defilement we have? Clinging to self. Uh, the battery is not charging. Okay. 那灯笼的 battery 这个没有 charge 哦。Oh, okay. All right. So we have all kind of okay. Thank you. Defilements. Now, defilement to self, I will explain later. All right. Now you all have greed, hatred, delusion. Everybody aware it. How you call it in Pali? Loba, dosa, moha. All right. Loba, dosa, moha. Now, how do you cling to self? What is self? Atta. Okay. So, cling to self means you have the strong ego. For example, somebody scold you today. You get very angry. Why? Because the person attacked this ego. All right. So that will create a lot of problem. Now, greed, people know. When you have greedy mind, the mind is unwholesome. You have hatred mind, it's unwholesome. When delusion mind is unwholesome. Now, in meditation, we will find this. So I actually start with the meditation class on Saturday. We just started yesterday. So we still have 4 sessions left. So interested to learn meditation can contact me. So in meditation, you will have greed, hatred, aversion, sloth and torpor, restless and worry, and doubt. Now, this will happen in meditation, but it also happens in our daily life. So once you identify the defilements, we should develop the wholesome, bright states and develop the wisdom to let the mind stay bright. Now, all right, now what we do is trying to identify. So I want to make it more interesting so you all don't feel sleepy. Okay. Yeah. So we try to identify what kind of things will happen in your mind. So we go for my previous class. I was teaching in the Subang Jaya, okay, on this Buddhist psychology. So it's actually quite interesting one. Okay, now we need to identify what kind of negative things will happen to us. I show the negative emotion first for us to identify. Now, when we have a lot of negative emotion, what happens is we always in denial. In denial means that we always say, I won't do it. Okay? Because you are in denial. When negative things cover the mind, you always say, no, I won't do it. I can't do it. Right? Okay. Now, how we do is we want to identify the negative things and slowly we transform our mind to positive things. For example, you face a problem, you will say, I won't do it, I can't do it. But slowly you think about how to solve it. How do I do it? I try to do it. I can do it. I will do it. Okay, shall we do it together for us to change our mind from very negative to very positive? Let's read together with hand gesture. Okay, with head gesture. Like this. I won't do it. I can't do it. I want to do it. How do I do it? I try to do it. I can do it. I will do it. Yes, I did. Okay, so we start again. I won't do it. I can't do it. I want to do it. How do I do it? I try to do it. I can do it. I will do it. Yes, I did. Okay, very good. Okay. So we should start with more emotion because every time you say, I won't do it, I can't do it, your defilements is block you. Like, for example, you want to do wholesome thing. The moment you say, I won't do it, something is stopping you. Okay. So we need to understand the nature of our mind. Shall we start again? I won't do it. I can't do it. I want to do it. How do I do it? I try to do it. I can do it. I will do it. Yes, I did. Okay, thank you very much. All right, okay. Now, we let us see the negative things in us. Do you have all this? All this will obstruct your pure mind. Okay. Anger. Yes. Irritability. Yes. Okay, so we read together all these negative emotion that obstruct our original mind, pure mind. Anger, irritability, hot-temperedness, annoyance, vexation, aggravation, getting worked up, resentment, nation, hatred, hostility. Okay. Okay. Disgust, revulsion, empathy, aversion, disdain, contempt, nausea, repulsion, scorn, contempt, despise, belittle, abhorrence. Okay, shame. Okay, we got some more. Feel wrong, suppress, frustration, fear, scare, panic, apprehension, worry. Okay, so the next one, ashamed, losing, guilt, self-blame, remorse, feeling ashamed, envy, jealousy, bitter, resentment, pent-up grievance, feeling wrong, feeling betrayed, feeling ignored, depression, gloominess, suffocated, restlessness, agitated, helplessness, powerlessness, emptiness, numbness. Okay, do this occur in you? Yes. Do this make your mind defiled, make your mind impure? Okay. Now, when you identify the not good one, you also need to identify the good one. Okay. Joy and happiness. Read together. Joyful, excited, ecstatic, intense, comfortable. Love, fondness, warm, friendliness, intimacy, doting affection, indulgence, emotional sense, heartwarming feeling, contentment, serenity, tranquility, peacefulness, comfort, relaxation, ease, stability, composure, hope, optimism, anticipation, aspiration, exhilaration, high spirit, pride, self-confidence, self-satisfaction, self-sense of achievement, curiosity, interest, fascination, deep focus, the sense of fulfillment it brings, desire to explore. Gratitude, respect, touch, interest, faithfulness, amusement. Okay, so you can see now the problem is, do you notice that sometimes we identify more of the negative one? We only see the negative things in us. We seldom see the positive in us. Do you notice that? That's why a small problem will make you fall down, right? Because the mind tend to overlook the good one. So we always must remember to reduce the defilements and to develop a wholesome bright state like love, compassion, loving kindness, and so on, right? Now, finally, you need to develop the wisdom for the mind to stay bright. Okay, now we go for a little bit on theory here. Okay, just now we already identified the good or bad. Now let's come for some psychology aspect. Buddhist psychology is an experiential science of the mind focused on understanding consciousness, alleviating suffering, and achieve mental liberation. Okay, rooted in Abhidhamma, it uses introspection, mindfulness, and meditation to cultivate mental health, wisdom, and compassion. Key aspects including analyzing mental state, transforming condition, and reducing the small self. Okay. Now, first thing is you need to know what is this human. Human means mind and body, or in Pali you call it nama, rupa. Okay. This one, typo mistake. No, same already. Okay, sorry. The keyboard cannot type the R easily, type the U easily. Okay, so nama rupa. So sense-based and sense though. So people want to happiness, yearn for happiness. So the mind rejects suffering, prefer happiness. Okay. Now, when we say our inner world, how do you communicate with people outside? Is through your sense door, and a sense object coming in. So everybody want to have happiness because you want happy things coming in. You want a happy sight, happy sound, happy smell, and so on. So the mind actually only want happy. The mind seldom want suffering. But actually, we want to take the mind away from mental defilements. Now, there's a lot of new psychology in the Western world. One is a psychology we call inner child. You all heard about this? Okay. What is inner child? Okay. So we talk about this later. Okay, now we talk about the self first. Okay, talk about self first. Now the problem of self. Now when you say I, okay, the moment you say I, now is pointing at this self. Now this self means we call it a concept. Real one is a mind and body is the truth. So when you say this self and I, it's a concept. Now, what is concept? For example, we call it, this is a glass, we call it the glass container, right? For putting the space container. So this is a concept here. Ultimately, it's made of just some box or fiber or whatever. But when you put in a certain shape, the concept of a spectator box come to be. All right. Now, when these two, your mind and body, sometimes we use the word material and mental. Okay, mind and body, or material and mental. So when your mind and body, these two things, you put together, then the idea of I come to be. All right, can follow? You have, now you see here, you have the body. Now your mind is thinking or listening. So when your body and mind put together, then the idea of concept I come to be. So which one is more real? Is it the I more real or mind and body more real? Which one is the truth? Mind and body, okay. But the problem is we have always cling to this. We cling to this self. So we're clinging to the concept of this self or I. So the moment you cling to it, you have problem. You have conceit. You will say, I'm important. My teacher is the best. Okay, let's say now you see Sharam Buddhist society is very grand, very beautiful. Right? I look at, wow, amazed. They said, wow, my Sharam Buddhist society is the best, right? That's also a little bit conceit here. Do you notice that? Yeah. Or for example, you are practicing under a certain lineage of teacher. You say, my teacher is the best. My meditation teacher is the best. The method is the best. There's also slight conceit there. Okay. So when you conceit, you look down on others. So you cling to your viewpoint. So this is called carrying the burden. It's a burden. Okay. The moment you have this self, it's a burden. Because why? Once you have this self, you want to make this self happy. Whatever you do is to make this I happy. Just ask you to sit 10 minutes quietly, do nothing. Later we practice meditation, you notice that it's very difficult, Sit there, do nothing except be mindful. Then you notice the self want this, want that, want to go outside, want to go toilet, want to look at the handphone, want to check the message to make sure you're still alive, because you're afraid that if you don't check the handphone message, people think that you'll die already. That kind of thing. So we call it, actually, when we have this self, it's a burden. Why? Because you want to make sure that this self happy forever. Once you feel that you want to be happy forever, it's a burden. I hope you get the point.
Is it also a pressure to maintain?
Yes, it's a pressure, Yeah. Now you sit here, but after a while, your mind thinking, okay, let's say you sit here for meditate maybe for 1 day. Nobody come and look after, come and check on you. Then you start to worry, why nobody miss me? Yeah? you know, it's true, Let's say you go to jungle and hide and practice meditation. So afterward, the self start to think, now without handphone, nobody send message to me. Maybe people are not worried about you, but you worry that they might miss you. That's a burden of self. Because of this burden, people are doing all sorts of things to make themselves happy. So recently, in Sudama, I asked them to do a counseling case, okay. So I let the members practice counseling by themselves. So they share a story about a father. The father is last time worked very hard because he seek for recognition in a company, right? Some people very work hard until he neglect the children, neglect the family because he want recognition in a company. So the day he go to the stage to reach the recognition, the happiness is only a little bit only. But to maintain that kind of a recognition of this person, this self, is very important, very capable. How much hard work he had to put in, you know? So that's a burden of self. So later, after he retire, this is a real story, okay? Later, after he retire, so he feel that the daughter's wife are not giving him enough recognition. After he retire, he's still craving for the recognition. For he want people to think that this I is important. So it itself is suffering. So we call it the burden of self. That's why when Arahant enter Parinibbana, what is in the Sutta say, the Arahant put down the burden of five aggregates. It's actually is a burden. If it's not a burden, you'll be able to be happy every day. You have enough food, enough aircon. Malaysia is a lot of aircon already. That's enough happiness, but still the mind wants something. Let's say you stay at house, your fridge got all the food, but you still want to go outside and buy some more, right or not? Why? The fridge has lots of food already, but still the self craving for more entertainment, right? Yeah. So that's the burden of self. So that's why we need to know what is self. So the idea of self clouds the mind, burdening oneself. Now, it's always like this. If I get what I want, I be happy, delighted. If I do not get what I desire, I'll be sad, depressed. So do you see it's a burden? Yes. It makes you always searching for entertainment, searching for happiness, and so on. Now, how you want to make this self happy? Yes, you need to sometimes listen to people. You need to get a good consultation for you to make this self happy. That is if you are under depressed. If you are depressed, you need to go for counseling. You need for people to help you to listen well. Then you need to practice active listening and so on. That is because you want to make the self happy. Now, we come back to this again, right? Now, compared to child mind, adult mind, is a child mind more pure? Yes. Why?
Simple.
Simple, no defilement. Okay, more clear, yeah. And adult mind is considered more impure. Why? A lot of expectation and desire and ego. Yeah, right. Ego is true. Okay, I stay in Myanmar for 15 years, from 2010 until 2025. I just finished my PhD last year. So I noticed that, I can speak Burmese, but my Burmese sometimes, my pronunciation are not so native. Native Burmese, their pronunciation is like Malay, very flat in tone. So mine will be a little bit with the Chinese lah. So my Burmese will be near to the China. There's one tall mountain we call it Shan. So the Shan is very near to the China. So they speak more little bit high tone like me lah. Burmese like ni kao lah like this. So every time I speak with the Burmese children, they understand my Burmese. But when I speak my Burmese to adult Burmese, they don't understand. You know why? Condition. Because the children listen carefully. The children listen carefully. The children listen and they absorb what you say. And then if some don't understand, then the next girl or boy will help to translate. They don't reject. The adult will be, once they don't remember, them like this already, You all know when somebody asks you, you start like this, why? You reject immediately. Okay? So let's say if we go back to our childhood, do you think your mind is moved here? Do you want to be your mind as when you're young, more full of hope for the future? Like it's a wonderful, wonderful world, right? When we are young, we always think, oh, the world is so wonderful, wonderful world. Now, the more you grow up, you can see the world are not so wonderful with the politics and so on, right? Okay. Now, okay. So we go for this one. This until what? 11 o'clock. 11. Okay. So after I taught this one, so we maybe spend few minutes on meditation. Then after that, we come back again better lah, because too much knowledge also not good for you, overloaded. Okay. Now, the science behind purity. Right. First, of course, they don't have the developed functioning. Okay. So they are not like us. Their brain are not fully developed. They are front frontal and emotional frontal. So they cannot process so much. So they are actually on the emotional state. Like very easy. They like it, they smile. They don't like it, they cry. Okay. But now adult is different. You like it, you pretend you don't like it. When you don't like it, you pretend you like it, right? It's always opposite, because sometimes when you're in a society, you have to be, we call it always be polite. Okay, even say we call it the white lies, to survive in this society. So the child mind is always genuine, because they lack of the fully developed executive. And also one thing is cognitive filters. So adults constantly filter their thoughts to the social expectation, professional boundaries, and past trauma. Children express themselves without this protected and sometimes restricted psychological layer. It's like when you want to say something, before you say it, your mind already filter out, You filter out lots of things, because in a social aspect, like in Malaysia, you cannot talk about this and that, right? Sensitivity about religion. So social expectation, when you go to work, a lot of things, there's a lot of boundaries. And also based on your childhood, if you had trauma in a childhood, that also can really disturb your how you process the information. Also another one, the child mind is built to absorb the world, not reject it. So they are actually open, okay, open for new experience, right? So that means that they can accept new things. But adult nowadays, once you start to build your family, once you have your properties, your bank account, you will not open. You start to cross out, because you want to protect your properties and family. So compared to children, they have nothing yet except their parents. So they are very daring in a way. So they open up. So when this one I say in Myanmar, I noticed that the children are different, compared to Malaysian children, of course different. In Myanmar, if you give a children a sweet, they can accept it. Here. Don't say even in Singapore, you cannot even give a children a sweet or things, because the parents say don't talk to stranger. Don't even associate with stranger, except maybe in Buddhist center. But outside, I cannot even talk with other children. And the parents are like this. But in Myanmar, it's okay. Why? Because the openness is there. So one day, my devotees, she went to the big pagoda, the Shedogam pagoda. So there are many Burmese family. So my devotees from Hong Kong, she saw a very cute Myanmar baby, right? So she want to take photo. So the lady, the mother, literally give the baby to her for her to take photo like this. The openness like this in society. Still happen. Yeah. But here, because Chinese family only got 1 or 2 kids, very precious, 宝贝. So the openness is less here. Okay. Oh, yeah, by the way, in November, I'm going to lead a group of Malaysians go to Myanmar for pilgrimage. So if you want to come to Myanmar, also can follow me, middle of November. So you can see the different culture. It's actually a very nice culture. So don't worry about the fighting. We will not bring you to a fighting place. Go to big city, only Yangon, Mandalay. Actually, it's a very nice. You can see the pagodas, see the lifestyle. The children still walk to school. You know, here I see the children never walk to school. You know, the foreigners say Malaysian people don't walk. Malaysian people drive car, right? You want to buy something, you drive the car. All right. So the children here don't walk to school, but the children there, 6 years old, they walk. If they are too young, they follow their father, follow their elder brother and sister. If not neighbors, if not grandfather, grandmother. So the children really every day walk to school and come back also walking. So they are strong in a way. Okay. So that's why we need to be open to think about how should we go back to more pure nature. So just don't filter out so much, because sometimes you filter out based on your social expectation. You miss out lots of variable information. Okay. Yeah, that's important. And also try to open, like me, sometimes, one time, I'm in Theravada. People also invite me, one of the Mahayana nuns I met, they invite me go to the Mahayana ceremony. So I also joined them. Mahayana ceremony is like Theravada is very easy. You kneel down, you chant, that's all right. Mahayana ceremony, you kneel down, you come out, kneel down, come out, then you put a hand like this, like this, like this, how many pattern. Then after kneel down, you go 1 round, then come back. But it's a good explosion. Okay. The more we learn different things, our mind become more open. Okay, I think we left something later. I have few pages later. Okay, now maybe we just do some meditation for you to get to know how to be open, all right? So I think we can go for meditation now. Okay, now, so when you meditate, can you see where is this I? The ego, the self. Does it exist? No, right? Okay. Okay, now, a lot of thing is, when you try to meditate is, there's only 2 things, okay? Mind and body. So one way to release this cling to self and ego, because is to understand the anatta. Matter body is in constant change. All right. Now, as you grow older and older, you notice that there's more problem in the body. Any of you have no sickness? Everybody got sickness, right? Yeah. Because the moment you recognize the body or matter is always in a state of suffering or changes, okay, or sickness. So we need to aware of this. So when you sit down, the first thing you observe beside the breathing is body pain. All right. So where you get pain? Knee pain, numbness, back pain, and where?
Joint pain.
Joint pain, and where pain? Shoulder pain also. Then you put the hand for a long time, hand also feels stiff, because that's the nature of the body. The body is always in a state of suffering. That's why when you know the story, the Prince Siddhartha, why he left the palace, he saw the 4 signs. So what was the 4 signs? You see a sick man, old man, dead man, and then a holy man. right? So he's so we call it 生老病死 something that you cannot escape. Because in the nature of the body, the moment you are born, we are subject to sickness, aging, and death. This one we cannot escape. That's the nature of the anatta, non-self. Now, the word anatta actually is very profound. So non-self, actually what it means that there is not a entity in absolute control. Okay. So when you not the body, there's no such thing in this a self or soul that can control everything. Now, if we have really, we call it a self, an ego control, can we have aging? No, we will not have aging, sickness, and death. Literally, our body will be perfect because we have no controller, entity, absolute control. That's why the body is in constant sickness. Okay, especially when you take care of your aging parents. You really see how your father, mother getting old and old. When every time in Myanmar, I stay 15 years, but every year I go and see my mother. So last time, few years ago, my mother still can cook for me every time I go and see my mother. But now my mother also cannot cook because she cannot stand for a long time. She got diabetes. Her leg are not in a blue bag, very high diabetes. So every time I see her, I really feel lots of compassion. Then really understand what is a 生老病死 We cannot escape from this truth. So you need to observe the body and it is a state of constant change. And the mind is, you need to know the mind, even though we say it's the same mind, actually it's no. Okay, your job is actually, when you try to practice meditation, just aware of we call it the knower. Knower knows the known. Actually, it's very easy. The earlier mind know the later mind. So for example, when you have anger or greed or hatred, so first the anger will come. So later will happen you call it the awareness will come. So anger and awareness, they are not happening at the same time. Anger is the earlier mind. Awareness is the later mind. So your job is keep on be aware and see the mind in constant change. So also the body in constant change. So the mind is also in constant change. Constant change means actually it's not the same mind. In Abhidhamma, we don't have same mind. In Abhidhamma, we say we have 89 or 1 to 1. So different mind, not the same mind. Different mind will arise all the time, okay? Different types of mind will arise. So that's why if you be mindful, you notice your mind. What happened to your mind just now when you sit down for 10 minutes?
Whatever.
Mm.
I'm a bit confused.
It
should be the later mind, not the earlier mind.
Knower, known the known. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, the later mind, know the earlier mind. Thank you very much for your correction. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so when you sit down just now for 10 minutes, what is the nature of the mind? What do the mind do? The mind go for hearing, and then they're running around, right? And what happened? Go to the body, yeah, go to hearing, go to the sound and whatever. So sometimes it's a good, we do it, we call it, one way we call it, we call it open awareness mind, which actually nowadays I also ask people to do it, or we call it mindfulness. Don't tie the mind to any object. Now, what's the difference between this and breathing? Now, when you do the breathing meditation, you have only one object, right? That is the breath. So your job is tied to the breath. Your mind runs around, you come back to breath. Your mind runs around, you come back to breath. But you only know the breath. That's all, only one object. But when you do the open awareness, you're aware of many things, the body, the feeling, the mental states, okay, your six sense bases and object. Okay, so literally your mind is actually much more alert. And you really get to know what's the meaning of non-self. Non-self means things appear itself, you know. When things appear itself, your mind knows. Another things appear, the mind knows. The mind are not in absolute control. It just happens. There's always changes and changes. So nothing is fixed and permanent. So when you always see the constant changes in the body and mind, the constant changes, okay, changes, the mind or different types of mind. So when you see more and more, what you know is non-self. So that's why it's possible to practice in walking meditation. In fact, in Buddha time, many people, many monks become arahant in the moment of walking. They observe the bodily movement. Some, of course, they practice sitting. Some also standing can become arahant. Because the key point is not what you practice, is how you practice. Okay? You might practice on breathing, but are you aware of other things? You have to let go all the clinging to the body and mind. Then the mind become more, less defiled. The less clinging, the mind become more pure and pure and pure. That's why when people practice more, they can renounce the world. Why? They let go of this self-image. Now, most of you cannot renounce the world, right? Why? Clinging to what?
Family.
Huh?
Family.
Oh, family. Yeah, that's right. Clinging for family. Okay. Let's see if your family agree to let you go forth. Will you go forth? Yes. Now you cling to them or they cling to you? That's the question, no? Who cling to who? Huh? Okay, so I tell you one joke. Is in Myanmar, because it's Theravada Buddhism for more than 2,500. There's a lot of jokes. Okay, so one of the jokes is there's one monk. He accidentally tell a devotee he like a salty veggie. You know, he just say like that. That's why once it's a very also for us to be careful lah. Once we tell a devotee we like something, then the devotee will offer the same thing every day, right? So it's true. So this person, this monk, he tell the devotees, I like salty veggie, something like that. That every day the devotees also bring only this vegetable. So one day accidentally the monastery was burned or whatever lah. So the monk actually quite happy lah. He said, "Oh, the devotee will not come again, will not offer the same salty veggie." Then the next day, the devotee come. They say, "Oh, Venerable, I remember you. I'm so great. You're still alive. So it is a salty veggie for you again." So you can see the nature of clinging, you know. Yeah, sometimes this is a joke. Okay, I tell you another one, better one. Now, there's a very big Buddha statue, maybe bigger than this. So one day, a very faithful, very simple-minded devotee, he, you know, like all the tradition, all the Theravada Buddhism, where every day, Namo Tassa, then Buddham Saranam Gacchami, take refuge and pay, and also 5 precepts. And after that, finally, may attain Nibbana in this possible lifetime, right? You all also chant like this, right? Yes, okay. So make aspiration. So one day, his friend hide behind the Buddha statue. The friend start to tease him. Oh, my dear devotee, I hear your aspiration. You want to attain Nibbana as soon as possible. I will now send you to Nibbana. All right. And then what the devotee say? Wait. Let me go back. I want to discuss with my wife first. Okay. Then he go back and then discuss with wife. But his wife was somebody more intelligent and say, yeah. No, your prayers is fulfilled now. Since you play every day, I want to attain Nibbana. Okay. Now the Buddha want to send you to Nibbana. You go ahead. He said, no, I don't want to go. I worry about my properties, about my money, about you, and so on. Okay. Actually, the story is say that why people cannot let go? Because of cling to this self. Now, if we want to cling to self, let's cling in a good way, all right? Now, good way means we practice the wholesome method so our self become better with living kindness, compassion, spirit, joy. So these are forces that purify the mind because this will counteract the defilements like anger, jealousy, aversion. Okay, so if you want to cling to self, cling to good one, cling to good practice, right? Because if we ask you don't do anything, it's difficult, right? So since you want to do something, might as well do something good. It asks you to sit here, don't do anything, just meditate. Sometimes it's very boring. That's why in Buddhist center, it's good always to do charity. We should encourage people to do charity because when you do a charity, a lot of people can be helped, and also you can invite people, a lot of people to join in. Like earthquake, like the last year, is it last year 2025 earthquake, right? So because I was in Myanmar, the a lot of Buddhist society passed me the donation. So I with my chief nun, we donated to about 30, 40 monastery nunneries during the earthquake time. Yeah. So the amount we get about about 30 or 40,000 ringgit Malaysia. It's a lot of money. Yeah. So when we are doing charity, we train the mind to be more wholesome, to be more pure. Yeah. Because it's difficult not to do anything. That's how we can counteract. But still we need to be know that the Buddha always talk about anatta. Because anatta is you want to remove the atta to reduce it. That is why I believe if you practice more anatta, one day you also can go forth. Yeah. Because I go around in many Buddhist centers, they always tell me not enough monks and nuns, right? Yeah. Like Buddhists, you're all in a Shah Alam. Do you have monks and nuns here? No. So why don't you all volunteer? Yeah, why? Because you are not at that stage, because you still have the idea of self. I want to stay with my family members, right? Yeah. Okay. So if you want to stay with family members, yes, go ahead, do more wholesome things. Do more wholesome things together. That's also another way to purify, you know. Not that everybody have the parami to go forth. I tell you, it's not easy. Actually, it's sometimes very boring. Actually, nothing to do, you know. For us, we wake up in the morning. I wake up 7. I take a little bit breakfast. Then 7 to 8, I walk in the Sudama, just 1 hour walk and do some chanting. So 8 to 10, I check all their homework, you know, or check all the messages sent by people. Then go for lunch. Then rest for a while. Then do some homework. Then go back to some chanting. Every day like this, boring, right? Actually, it's very boring. Such a very boring, no? Sometimes once a while come to hear teach, share the dhammas. Tomorrow go jalan-jalan, you know. Actually, everyday life is very boring. But we call it simplicity itself is a happiness. Okay. For me, I already let go of my family members. My mother is still in JB, but I got my elder sister take care of her, so I don't need to worry about her. So my siblings are in Singapore. They can take care of themselves. They are more rich than me, definitely. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we need to practice more meditation. So later we will do samatha and vipassana together in a meditation. Right. So let me finish this one. Okay. Now, so focus more on open awareness because I want you all to practice this. It's very easy. Everywhere you go, it's also a vipassana. But this vipassana does not say that you must practice breathing. Because not everybody can observe here, you know. A lot of people cannot observe the breathing. So once they cannot observe breathing, they stuck, make no progress. Okay? Because the object is not clear. When the object is not clear, how can you progress? So that's why you change. There are many things you can aware. The moment you sit here, you notice the body, the feeling, your good or bad mind. You notice all the sound coming in. So the joke is very simple. Just be aware. Then the more you practice again, you understand the meaning of non-self. When you really 100% understand the meaning of non-self, you can be enlightened. Because the Buddha already say in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, as long as there's noble eightfold path, there's still possible chance for enlightenment to be happen, Right. Okay, now sometimes we use a lot of terms like watcher, knower, whatever. But even we call it somebody who knows. What is the knower? This is just actually it's required like earlier mind is hatred, later mind is a knower. So the knowing mind know the earlier mind, but this knowing mind is also will change because in a series of witty process, and when you learn Abhidhamma, there are many, many chittas. Like Buddha said, at one blink of eyes, millions of consciousness chittas might arise and pass away. So they arise due to condition. For example, you hear a sound because when there's sound, you get a smell because the smell. So the objects must be there first. So everything is based on condition. So you see more of this, and then slowly the sense of ego will reduce. That's why if you practice more, I'm sure there will be lots of people can attain enlightenment. All right. So this self is made of mind and matter. So this self is ego offset. So we should reduce the clinging to this self and ego. Because when you have cling to this ego, you will have problem. Like somebody don't follow you, you get angry. Okay, and that's because of conceit and so on. Now, okay, let's go for two kind of perspective and viewpoint, right? Perception. Now, in Dhamma viewpoint, this I, being, self, ego, is made of two nama rupa or five aggregates. In human viewpoint, this self is the most important. Whatever you do must fulfill this idea of I. So that's why people want to go for recognition, want to work very hard. It's not wrong if you want to work hard. If you work hard with the idea of people must notice me, then you get disappointed, because people are so busy, nobody will notice you. Dhamma viewpoint, the body is subject to pain, sickness, and aging, right? So let the mind accept this fact. What in the sutta say, the body is subject to pain. So we call it the Sala Sutta. One of the sutta called Sala Sutta. We call it when you accept it, it's like you're pierced by one thorn. But when the mind cannot accept it, mind get agitated, you are pierced by double thorns. So we call it the Sala Sutta. The Buddha said. So let the body in pain, but not mind not pain. Let the body in pain, but mind not in pain. All right? Because the mind in pain is optional. So that's why when you practice meditation, you notice the pain each. You can have the option not to react to it. You accept the pain as it is. So that is, we call it, let the body be pain, but mind not in pain. All right. Okay, now worry experience is we want to make sure this I is happy forever. That's a worry things. Now, so we need to have right understanding, right thoughts about impermanence, suffering, anicca, dukkha, anatta. Non-self means there's no self and no soul inside us, right? But in human idea, we want this self to live forever. Sometimes people also believe the soul or self in the body or outside the body. Okay. But in Buddha's teaching, there's no self, there's no soul. Okay. Now, what's the meaning of inside the body, outside the body? What you believe there's a self or soul here? Sometimes when you sleep, the soul come up. That's what we traditional people always believe. We call it 灵魂, 出窍. That's the idea. Or when you sleep, the soul travels. Or when you pass away, the soul go to unite with the God. There's another religion. Okay, like Hinduism believe we are part of this big Atta or big Brahma. they have big atta there. So from the big atta, a small atta come to the world. This atta self, the purpose is want to unite with the big atta in the heaven. So that's a Hindu concept. But in Buddhism, we don't have self, we have no soul, because the real one is only mind and matter. Now, when you get angry, don't cling to the word I'm angry. So how should you practice? You just not anger as anger. Okay. For example, like this, when you get angry, so you practice, so this is a worldly viewpoint, right? So this is Dhamma viewpoint. So when you get angry, so you're not anger, or you're not, there is an anger. Now, in worldly human viewpoint is, so when you get angry, you're not a human or worldly viewpoint. You notice that, then you say, I am angry. Now, do you see the difference? So which is more right? That's anger. So when you're aware of this, the moment you're aware of this, this means that you have mindfulness already. So the moment you have mindfulness, the anger already reduced. Like when you have hatred, you're not. There's a hatred. There's a restlessness or whatever. As it happens to you. You're aware of it. The moment you have mindfulness, what happened? Because all these are we call it all these are we call it unwholesome. Okay, sorry. When you're not the unwholesome, you know that there's anger or hatred or whatever. That's at this point the mind is unwholesome. So when you have mindfulness or awareness, at this point, sorry, at this point the mind is wholesome. So it actually is very easy, We take things by the other way around. But the other way around is not so difficult. You just be mindful, right? Because the moment you're mindful, your anger already reduced a lot. Okay. So mindfulness is compared to traffic light. So imagine you go a street with no traffic, you will drive faster, 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 or more careless. But there's a traffic light, you must slow down. You must stop for a while. Okay. Because sometimes if you drive continue for maybe 1 hour, there will be a lapse of mindfulness because it's too easy. Okay, so you just drive. But if there's a lot of traffic, you need to slow down. Okay. Now, human viewpoint, I'm angry. The anger is in me. And people will say, I got the right to be angry. Okay. So these are very conceited viewpoint. All right. So instead of thinking about human viewpoint, you not, that's the anger with me. So every time you sit down or walk or whatever, or you go to do your business, just not, there's an anger. Don't say I'm anger. There's an anger arise in me, or anger, 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 and let it pass. Because the moment you have mindfulness, your mind is wholesome already. So it's very simple. It's not so difficult. You have mindfulness, the anger will stop. The anger might come back. So I told you my story about my mother. My mother, because last time we stay in kampung house. So my grandmother, we have my family and the other my uncle's family. So the uncle's wife is very bully my mother a lot, really bully her, you know, disturb her until now, 50 years later. Every time my mother think about that auntie, she get very angry. Yeah, because the old people, they will tell you all the old story, right? Oh, she tell the same story, repeat again, again, again. So the moment she think about her, she get angry. That auntie actually is a very considered very bad person. One time she cooked and then the fish came and eat the cat came and eat the fish. She poured the boiling water on the cat. Very cruel nature. So that's why when she almost died, she had stroke, cannot talk. Bad karma lah. So every time my mother think about her, she get angry. So every time I remind her, she already passed away. The sentence, she's passed away, that asked my mother to be mindful. No, the moment you tell people already passed away, how can you get angry with the departed one? No, no, you cannot much. Then my mother have mindfulness, but afterwards she get angry again. That's the nature, all right, human. Okay, now, okay, so we come to the viewpoint, all right? So viewpoint is you need to overcome the perception of I and mind, all right? Go for ultimate truth. See only mind and matter, which is the true one. Because this I and mind is a concept, okay? You have this nama rupa, mind and body or mind matter. The more you put two together, the sense of I come to be. But when you separate mind and body, there's no I. That's why the first vipassana knowledge you're supposed to have is difference between mind and body. If you practice for 20 years, you cannot get this knowledge. It's very pitiful. This is a very basic knowledge, you know. The moment when you walk, who is walking? It's not I. It's the body walking, the mind knowing. All right. And second thing is don't chase the past. Don't worry about the future. Keep the mind simple. Live in present moment. Okay. Now, another of generate the happiness within oneself. Okay. Even in simple life, there's also happiness. You know? Yeah. So how do you get this happiness? It's because when you let go the sensual object, sensual desire, the mind become peaceful. So the mind, when the mind become peaceful, the mind become happy, right? So you get happiness. Because sensual object and sensual pleasure, all these are temporary, you know. All the sight, sound, smell, they come and go, come and go. And you need to pay money for them, right? But you sit down, close your eyes, you just get the happiness, peacefulness from letting go, right? And also another thing is, it's not the same mind, but a series of consciousness arise and pass away. Every day we have no same mind. Every moment is different mind, right? So they pass away. Okay, and then so on. Okay, come to conclusion already. So also you need to know we call it the luminous mind is not the nibbana, you know? Yeah. And luminous mind is not the self also. It's just the nature of mind. It's not the true self. All right. So see nibbana, see vipassana as a main way. Because when you see everything arise, pass away, you let go, let go, let go. So you see it as a purification. Okay. Right. Now, how you practice is first, like I mentioned earlier on, very important, reduce the defilements. So it's like you every day you clean the house, you sweep the floor because you want to reduce the defilements. And every day you make sure you turn on the light, put a good smell, fragrance in your house. That is increase the wholesome states in your mind. And also make sure you have wisdom because wisdom is the brightness. It's really bright. Let us see the truth in the nature. Now, what is the truth here means everything is impermanent suffering, no? It's anicca dukkha anatta. Okay. Right. So we come to conclusion here. So I think this one is easy. So make sure you reduce defilements and reduce to the clearest nature. Okay. And also permanent purification of mind is only when the wisdom is there. When your mind be able to let go, see the anicca dukkha anatta, and you can see the nibbana, right? So nibbana is ultimate peace and happiness. Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right. Okay, so we can open for questions now. Any question? Yes.
Any question from Pro?
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. It is very easy to talk about now,
Yeah.
theoretical part. Intellectually, you say, to see, you actually have to practice. You're like, when you just say the first insight knowledge.
Yes, yes.
So, to do that, you have to sit down and watch.
Yeah.
Because every day, I mean, my teacher tell me every day if you just become mindful, you will not reach the deep state. But if you do not see that, it is very much like theory.
Okay.
It's not
All right.
like you really see the separation of mind and body.
Okay.
So does it mean that to see that in a practical sense, to really see the experience,
Yes.
you have to do meditation?
Yes, you have to do tools. One we call it formal sitting. Formal meditation means sitting and standing, or maybe sitting, standing, walking. That's called formal. So this will give you the structured way of practice, right? You sit, you know the abdomen rising, falling, or breathing, whatever. But you also need to focus on daily mindfulness. We call it daily mindfulness. Means that the rest of time you are not in sitting, not in walking, or whatever. You have to keep the mindfulness continuous, okay? Keep the awareness continuous. There is in daily mindfulness, including eating, all right, talking, go to toilet, like you shake your head, okay, head or like this. So you need to maintain the consistent awareness. Then you really see these two only, mind and body, nama rupa, right? So you only see these two, nama rupa. If you don't keep the awareness continuously, what happens is you have some knowledge, but it's not solid. Then it disappear. Then you have to start from beginning again. Let's say, for example, the kettle, you turn on the kettle, you turn on 5 minutes, it's not boiled yet. You turn off. Then you turn on again. You turn off again. You turn on again, turn off again. Do you think you get boiled water? You cannot, like, why? Because it's not consistent. You need the momentum to push it. Like we need to turn on the kettle until maybe 10 minutes until the water thoroughly boil. So if the mindfulness is not there, you have little bit, but it disappear. Because of what? The sense of self has been us since beginningless. Not only this life. It starts from very, very, very long time, beginningless. So the moment you stop being mindful, the sense of self come back again. Then you have the feeling, I want this. I don't want this. Okay?
But actually the question is,
Yes.
even though, you see, as a lay person, there are so many,
Yes.
it is super difficult to maintain that kind of level of mindfulness. So unless you go on intensity.
But actually you can, because in Buddha times, there are a few lay people who attain enlightenment.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, yes, but we should not give up the hope that it's possible. No, yes, I know.
Wouldn't it be only possible again the separation in an intensive retreat, like a month or 2 weeks or something like that?
You're talking about intense retreat only possible. Actually, not really. Sometimes maybe during intense retreat, your mind is too tense up. You push, but the moment you go back home, you relax a bit. Then like we call it, the wisdom will come. You see the story of Ananda, right? You all know the Ananda. What happened? He practiced because everybody is 499 Arahant. He need to attend because he's the only one that understand the Buddha's teaching thoroughly. So he practiced walk and sit, or actually he walk all the time because he want to have lots of effort, but the effort over already. So then he remember, because the Buddha promised that he has the chance to be enlightened as Arahant. So that's why he go to the bed, very mindful, left, right, left, right, left, right. When he lie down, before the head touching the pillow, before the feet is like halfway on the sky, like they say. It's on this weird position. Among so many Arahants, he's the only one attain Arahantship out of the four posture. Not in sitting, not in walking, not in standing, lying down. So it's why? Because he lacks the mind. The mind was too tense. It also happened to people. You practice so hard in meditation center because you know why? because everybody get good result, right? Especially in meditation center, you know what happened? Because the yogi tend to chit chat. You know what happened? You hear the yogi, especially yogi go for interview, you all kepo go and listen to interview, you know. So you hear this yogi, wow, got number one, got what Sotapana or what jhana number one, number two, number three. The moment you hear this, your mind has too much desire, attachment. It becomes restless. So sometimes you cannot get in meditation. It's only after that, if you have the parami, you might get something even outside the formal meditation. All right. So actually, there's no fast rule. It depends on individual. Not to say everybody practice so hard, they will get result. Even some people practice very hard also cannot get result. So that's why I also try to introduce different type of meditation, because not a lot of people get good result in breathing meditation. You know? Sometimes breathing meditation not suitable. You can try foreground elements, session basis. There are many types. Vipassana we have 16, 1-6. Samatha we have 40. You know, so there are many ways we can practice. All right. Okay. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Yes. Yes.
But now I noticed that under the unwholesome list, there is solitude and loneliness.
Okay.
Right, but to my knowledge, Buddha recommends us to cultivate in solitude.
All right. Okay.
And also,
Yes.
loneliness is not a weakness, but it can be a strength.
Yes. Okay. Good. That's a good point. This is a something we call it, normally we get from the what kind of emotion under sadness. You know, sadness is under unwholesome. Like we call it loba dosa moha. So sadness is under dosa, hatred rooted. This loneliness, if you feel lonely, if you feel sad, then it's unwholesome. But if you use the loneliness for meditation, it's wholesome. It's the same mental feeling, but it depends on how you use it. Like a knife. You all at home got knife, right? It's a dangerous thing. Why do you keep it? Why? You know, knife people can go and kill people, right? Yeah. But why you still keep the knife? It's useful. Okay. So if it's under sadness, it's unwholesome. But you can transform the loneliness later to solitude. It become wholesome. Like I tell you my personal story. I stay in Myanmar with my chief nun, and we have few children, so we do a lot of charity. And my place is 1.5 acres. We have 4 buildings, so it's a big place. It's a big garden. Every day I go garden. Then I decided I want to spend more time in Malaysia. After my PhD, I free, so I go to Sudama. I stay there. At first, feel very lonely because it's a short lot, and it's either you climb up and climb down, climb up and climb down. It was so lonely, you know. And it is the building is very narrow. It's maybe this hall is maybe 1/4 only, because it's a very small room. It's a three one. So at first I feel very lonely. I always tell people in my centers there are many birds, many lizard. The lizard in Myanmar is bigger. You can speak to the lizard. Yeah, it's true, you know. Because sometimes the lizard they fight with each other, they fall down. You must scold the lizard. You all don't fight down, don't fight all the time, very noisy. The lizard sometimes when we share the marriage in Myanmar custom, when you share the marriage, the moment you say like idame yatina they will chi 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 chi. They say they're half better. So when you share the marriage, in fact they are kind of like welcoming, they know the sound. But I come to Sudama, I noticed that the lizard is so pitiful. You know, in Malaysia, the lizard don't go to the sky, don't walk on the ceiling or anymore. They walk on the floor, on the floor. Why?
Malaysian culture.
Yeah, Malaysian culture. Why? Because looking for food in the rubbish bin. Even the diet changed already, you know. In Myanmar, the lizard eat what? Insects, flies. You know, come to Malaysia, they eat rubbish bin. Yeah. So at first, actually very lonely for me, because I 15 years in Myanmar, When I studied my university there, I befriended my chief nun. We are classmates, Saiji Agawati. So from 15 years, we always do things together. All the missionary. So in November, we go for pilgrimage. I will go back in Myanmar in end of September. So we also, after the pilgrimage, we also going to do the Katina. We will host the Katina Day. So we do a lot of activities together. So we also will organize the donation. So please join us also. We're going to give money and food, rice to 20 monasteries and nunneries. Yeah. When the pilgrimage means that we go to Yangon, Mandalay, about 5 cities. So after see the pagoda, we will go to the nearby monastery nunneries to give charity. Because why? Because a lot of place they receive poor children, or the parents cannot take care of the children anymore, so they give to monastery and nunneries to take care. Like our children, our place, we also got one 8 years old, you know. So the mother and father cannot take care of her, so they sent to our center. 8 years old, sadly. All right. So compared to my life in Myanmar, it's very active. Come to Sudama, it's very lonely. The lizard are always escape one. Cannot even talk to lizard. The moment you see me, you run away. Last time got one lizard and one cockroach. Now cannot see the cockroach already. Yeah. So what I feel that later from this experience, I start to learn how to manage my own emotion. It's not easy. 15 years always like us vulnerable. We also stay with other vulnerables, right? Like either in Myanmar, all the vulnerables stay with other vulnerables. Seldom got one stay alone one. Silent minimum, they have another silent. Monks have 4 or 5. Seldom have one vulnerable unless they go for meditation center. Even you go to meditation center like Baal, the next kuti is also some human beings, right? So it comes to Sudama, it's really very lonely. I can see no people. I said where it goes downstairs, maybe the next mama store lah, but I don't go and chat with them lah, because of different culture also. So what I noticed that if I can change the solitude to something, it be strange for me. So I now still stay in Sudama. Whole day nobody. I tell you, really nobody. And who devotees come at 11:30. So after offer lunch, they run away very fast. 12:30. Okay. So whole day, in fact, whole day I see nobody at all. Yeah. Then nighttime, my online class, the Buddhika, so I see their half face, Sometimes they turn on the Zoom, some don't want to turn on the video, and I don't even see human face at all. Yeah. So if you want to learn online, you can, Sunday I teach basic Buddhism in Chinese. Monday I teach Pali. Wednesday basic Buddhism. Thursday Abhidhamma. Now Saturday, 5 Saturday now I teach meditation. So I did online because if not for the online class, I think I would crazy also. Why? Nobody to talk, Don't even a lizard cannot be talked. All right. So what we do is come to conclusion. All right. So the topic is original of mind. Yes. Okay. Right. So what you do is from this theory, I hope you understand that our mind is actually pure, according to Buddha teaching. But it's defiled by many things, defilements. The main thing is due to this ego. Ego is actually, it's a burden, It's a burden to us. The moment you say, yes, we can carry the ego in a good way. You say, yes, I want to do good things. It's a good ego. But if you say, I'm stupid, I cannot do it, nobody like me, that's a bad ego. That itself is a very big burden. Okay? So you need to understand the moment your mind go to this self and ego, this is actually very tiring. That's why when you sit here, I mean, you can stand whole day here, you can sit whole day here, but why you want to go back? Because, oh, my family is waiting for me to go already, right? Yeah, the sense of ego is there, all right? So anyway, what we do is always be careful of how you talk to yourself. The words you talk to yourself is very important, For example, you say, I get what I want, I will be happy. If I do not get what I want, I will be sad. So be careful of when we stress the idea of this I and mine. This is bad ego, right? Okay, clouds the mind. Now, if you want to be happy, at least do some good things. Go back to your childhood. Think about yourself. How pure is the mind? You welcome people generously, with openness, with genuine emotional states. Okay, yeah, right. And understand about the anatta. Anatta is a profound theory, but if you practice vipassana, you can slowly understand about anatta, non-self. Okay, maybe last question before we end this session.
Any more last question? Not?
Okay. Okay, shall we you all stay here or you want to go back later? I'll go back, right?
Lunch.
Okay, so we share Mary's in the lunchtime or yes.
Thank you very much, Venerable,
Okay.
for the sharing today. On behalf of Shalom Buddhist Society, we would like to Dana Namakama.
Okay, okay.
Put it
Okay, put it okay, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.
Okay, before we finish, I also want to give this certificate to wait, let me stop this one.